everyone, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm gonna be telling you story of Shivaji, the Great Maratha. Having their roots in Maharashtra, the Maharashtrians are a Marathi-speaking race. In those days, many of them belonged to the peasant class, while some Maratha clans were Kshatriyas or warriors. India at that time was ruled by the Muslim rulers and the mighty Mughals. The Maratha generals and the landowners kept shifting loyalties from one Muslim ruler to the other. Having no unity among themselves, they weakened their powers and made themselves slaves to these foreigners in their own land. Shivaji was born to Shahaji and Jijabai Bhosle in 1627. There was much rejoicing, singing, and dancing that day. Jijabai adored her little son from the moment he was put into her arms. He became the apple of her eye. Shahji, who was serving as a general under a Muslim ruler, had to be away from home most of the time, so it was Jijabai who brought up their son. Jijabai was a brave and religious lady. She did not know what fear was. She had studied how to rule the land and how to fight with a sword. Being as tough as leather, she would climb up all the way to the hill forts and ride on horseback. She was, however, distressed over the fact that her husband Shahji was serving the Nizam. She would tell her lady companions, "It pains me that many of our Maratha people, like my husband, are working for these foreign powers in our own motherland." I dream of an independent Maratha kingdom one day, when we will no longer be slaves to foreigners. Hence, it was but natural that all these thoughts were instilled into her son as he grew up. She told him stories of bravery and sacrifice from the Mahabharata and the Ramayana, the two great epics. She sang folk songs to him about the heroic deeds of their forefathers and other Indian heroes. She groomed him to be a leader who would one day be able to unite the Marathas and create an independent kingdom. "My son," she would tell him, "you must be disciplined, brave, and have a strong sense of duty to your motherland. You have a destiny to fulfill." Dadaji Kondev became Shivaji's guardian and teacher. He taught the lad to ride wild horses and shoot guns. He made him bathe in the cold waters of the river and sleep in the open. The boy grew up strong and tough. In 1645, the young Shiva took a ceremonial pledge to free the country from foreign rule. His only ambition in life was to oust the enemy from his lands. Shivaji captured a few forts with his small group of soldiers. He had a unique way of warfare. He never attacked directly since he knew that his army was small and ill equipped compared to that of his enemy. The dense forest valleys suited Shivaji's army best, and they took advantage of this rough terrain. His men would attack when at least expected, throw everything into confusion, and retreat before they would be attacked. This is known as guerrilla warfare today. One day, an opportunity presented itself. Some state treasure was being transferred from Kalyan to Bijapur. Shivaji got wind of it. He and his group waylaid the Sultan's army and carried off all the treasure to his fort before the dazed army could recover to fight back. The Sultan of Bijapur flew into a rage and cried, "How dare he! I will get that Deccan Kachuha!" Rat of the Deccan, as his enemies scornfully addressed him. He sent for his most trusted general, Afzal Khan. "Find him and kill him," he ordered. The brave but dreaded Afzal Khan, who was over 6 feet tall, was an experienced warrior. He tried his best to provoke Shivaji into coming out and facing him in battle by damaging parts of a village and a temple. However, Shivaji refused to be drawn out and safely stayed at his hill fortress at Pratapgarh. After pondering over the matter, Afzal Khan made a plan. He sent a Brahmin to meet Shivaji. "Shivaji, go and meet the general alone and settle the matter peacefully," the Brahmin advised, trying to convince the Maratha chief. When Shivaji turned a deaf ear to him, the Brahmin began to entreat him to do so. Shivaji did not trust the wicked Brahmin. He did not fall into his trap and eventually managed to make him confess that Afzal Khan actually had plans to kill him when they would be alone. Shivaji then sent word that he was ready to meet Afzal alone. Afzal Khan agreed, but on the condition that both men would have 2 personal bodyguards each. With the help of his bodyguard Rustum-e-Jawan, Shivaji prepared himself well for the meeting. He wore a suit of steel under his clothes. He put on a steel helmet and covered it carefully with his turban. He hid a sharp carved dagger, bichawa, in one of the sleeves of his garments, and in the palm of his right hand he held a row of sharp steel claws. Thus armed, he went to meet the enemy. "Come, come, let us bury the hatchet and become friends," said Afzal Khan, as the giant of a man came forward to greet the short-statured Shivaji and caught him in a bear hug. To the onlookers, it appeared that the two were embracing each other, but actually the wily general had gripped Shivaji's neck in a wrestler's grip with his huge left hand. Suddenly, the general whipped out his dagger and lunged at Shivaji and tried to thrust the dagger into his stomach. But Shivaji was saved because of his steel suit. Being unsuccessful, Afzal Khan dropped the dagger and tried to throttle Shivaji instead. Shivaji, sensing that Afzal Khan meant to throttle him to death, swung into action. He plunged the tiger claws, camouflaged the grip of his fist, into the enemy's belly. He then stabbed Afzal Khan over and over with the curved dagger. The bleeding and frightened general ran for his life. Afzal Khan's secretary Krishnaji Bhaskar Kulkarni jumped forward to defend his master, but Shivaji's soldiers cornered and killed them both. Later, after defeating Afzal Khan's army in a surprise attack, Shivaji had the great general buried with full military honors near the Pratapgarh fort. An annual urs is still held in the memory of Afzal Khan. This encounter silenced the Sultan, who after that never posed to be a threat to the growing powers of Shivaji, the Great Maratha. It also rang a warning bell for the great Mughal Emperor Aurangzeb, who began to keep an eye on the Deccan ka Chooha. If this video was helpful to you, then please like and share my video with your friends, and also don't forget to subscribe my channel. Thanks for watching.